Really excited to have you all here. So we're going to talk about conditional access app control today, which is part of the larger suite of offerings within Cloud App Security, which is Microsoft's CASB, or Cloud Access Security Broker solution. So how many of you, just show of hands, were in the all-up Azure AD conditional access talk that happened yesterday? Raise them high so I can see them. Okay, good. So it looks like at least 70% of the folks in the room were there. So that was an all-up. This is conditional access. Here's how it works across Microsoft 365. This is going to be a deep dive into sort of the session control functionality within conditional access. And I'm going to talk more about exactly what that means, what use cases it enables. But basically, up until now, we've thought of conditional access as at-the-gate controls. And now we're actually going into the session with the user, and we're restricting certain actions while allowing them to remain productive. So my name is Alex Esabov. I'm a program manager on the Cloud App Security team. And of course, the focus of this conversation will be the conditional access features within that product. So just high-level overview of what we're going to talk about. I'm going to give a brief introduction, explain to you why you should care about cloud access security brokers based on how the security perimeter is evolving and how it looks in the modern day. We're going to talk very high level about the architecture of Cloud App Security, so all of the different ways that the product integrates with your cloud applications. And then we're going to deep dive into one of those subsets, and that's the conditional access functionality. I really want to make this talk about enabling use cases with that feature. We're going to talk about what we've been working on over the last year, what we're announcing at Ignite this week. But I want to do that in the framework of the use cases that it enables you to have. So this talk is going to be very use case and demo heavy. I hope that's cool with all of you guys. And then we'll wrap up with just a summary of where we're planning to go with this, a recap of what we talked about. All right, so diving right in. So Cloud Access Security Brokers, what do they enable you to do? The cloud that you're looking at on this slide, if you go from left to right, talks about unsanctioned applications, sanctioned applications, and cloud threats. And as you can see, all of these different situations or parameters feed into any of those applications, any of those threats. So users nowadays, it's not a 9-to-5 work environment where they're coming in, working on their managed desktops, and then going back. They're working from corporate HQ, but they're also working from public and home Wi-Fi, grandma's computer. You've got external users in your organization who you have no control over their security, but that need access to some of your resources. And you've also got cell phones in everyone's pockets that your security team can't always manage. There's all sorts of threats that can be on those unmanaged devices. And we're going to showcase in the demos that we do today several of those various situations. But then, no matter where you're coming from, you're trying to access some kind of cloud resource these days. It could be an unsanctioned application, something that you're not managing with your IT department, like Facebook, for example, or YouTube. And what we offer there, and I'll talk more about, is the shadow IT capability, basically giving you the visibility into cloud apps that your users are using, and then helping you take actions and control what they are and aren't able to do. The sanctioned application space is what's going to be the focus of this conversation. There's several use cases that we enable there. One of them is around basically templating what your users are doing with regards to files and actions in your various applications. And again, I'll deep dive into that for just a minute. And finally, the sort of focus of this will be that control and monitor user sessions in real time. That's what we're going to spend most of this talk on. And of course, spanning across all of these different environments, across all of these cloud applications, we've got insider threats that we're able to detect and then mitigate, as well as things like malware activities that we've profiled, that we've templated, and then we can alert you on so that you can take actions within your cloud applications. This is the one sort of marketing slide that I want to show because I really think it highlights what we just talked about on the last slide. Which is because of how the security perimeter is changing, because of users being able to access anything, anytime, sanctioned, unsanctioned. This is a report that was done externally that basically said that by 2020, 85% of large enterprises will need some kind of cloud access security broker or CASB solution in order to manage all of these threats, these sanctioned and unsanctioned applications. So let's dive one step deeper and talk about Cloud App Security, what it does in the face of all those different situations that we just talked about, and then we'll dive even deeper into the conditional access functionality within Cloud App Security. So at its highest level, the first way that Cloud App Security integrates with your cloud apps is via discovery. You can sort of think of this as you've got some firewall or proxy on-prem that all of your logs are flowing to. What we've done is we've created a parser that can basically look at any of those cloud logs. You send us your logs and you say, hey, parse these for me. You deploy a log collector with Cloud App Security, and we recognize, hey, this is coming from Zscaler, or hey, these logs are coming from one of many other proxies or firewalls, and then we'll show you basically a high-level report of what kind of applications exist in your environment, what kind of risk scores they have. So for these 16,000 applications, we've got a risk score for each of them based on 70 different parameters. And we'll tell you, hey, these ones are risky based on the security and compliance metrics, for example, that they don't meet. And then you can take action with those risky applications. So you can basically export a block script, feed it back into your firewall or your proxy and say, hey, for these risky applications, I want to make sure that my users can't get to them. Now, that's sort of the on-prem solution for unsanctioned applications. But like we talked about, users are accessing things from anywhere. It's not always going through a firewall or proxy on-premise. And so that's where app connectors come in. So we talked briefly on that last slide about how we want to look at various files, various activities within your cloud applications. So for about a dozen applications that have exposed nice public APIs to us, you can basically add one of those applications to Cloud App Security, and then we will look at the various activities going on in those cloud applications. So if a user uploads a file and it's a publicly exposed file and it has a social security number in it, you can take powerful controls in applications like Box, in Salesforce, Office, basically first and third-party applications. You can take actions like removing external users automatically or encrypting those files with Azure Information Protection. So basically, you're making sure that there's auto-remediation for user mistakes like exposing those confidential files publicly. Now, that's all API-based. And what that means is that we'll be talking to those applications in near real time, but not in real time. So if they do something like download a file with the API connectors or the app connectors, you can't stop that from happening. You can just be alerted to, hey, this happened, and then take remediation actions post hoc. And that's sort of where the focus of this talk comes in with this conditional access app control functionality. This is a reverse proxy that literally is going to be sitting between the user and the application and monitoring what actions the user does take. And then based on the policies that you've configured, you can say, hey, I want to block download of any file with the word peanut butter in it. And that's what we're going to do for you. So again, that will be the focus of this conversation, and that's what we're going to dive into next. So I'm going to show a slide that I hope all of you have seen some kind of version of. We're going to start with Azure AD Conditional Access, because one thing I want to emphasize throughout this presentation is that this is really a suite of solutions. We've worked hard with this feature to integrate across Microsoft. We have integrations with Azure Information Protection that I'll show, integrations with Intune, Azure AD, App Proxy that we're introducing. So there's a lot of really cool integrations that really make this a powerful solution, and I'll talk more through that throughout the course of this presentation. So Azure AD Conditional Access, just to sort of level set exactly how conditional access is thought of at Microsoft, it's basically a set of conditions or if statements. You define what's risky to your organization. You say, hey, based on the user coming from off-prem locations or having a non-compliant device or any other various parameters that we can look at, based on some kind of risk, then we want to take some kind of control. So this is what I was alluding to earlier with control was previously thought of as an at-the-gate thing. So if a user is coming from an unknown location or an anonymous browser or something like that, we want to require multi-factor authentication, for example, or we want to just block access to the app outright. What we're talking about here, that second sort of circle under controls, this limited access, what we think of it as a good compromise between security and productivity. So we're going to let the user into the session, but we don't want to just block them from accessing the application, but then we may want to block them from taking certain actions. And that, of course, will be what we show today. So before I jump into the demos, I want to talk about what I think really makes this feature unique. So as I talked about, the integrations are a huge piece. So with Azure AD Conditional Access, there's sort of two things that we do. When users hear the word proxy, it immediately freaks everybody out, and rightly so, because it's an extra dependency that your users now have to depend on. There's going to be extra redirects and clicks, and so we want to do whatever we can to minimize that latency. So what have we done about that is we've leveraged us being Microsoft, us having that Azure AD Conditional Access to lean on. So what I'll showcase in these demos and what I'll briefly describe for you now is when you create a conditional access policy, it applies to any situation that matches the use case the user's coming from. So if they come from an unmanaged device and they go to an application like Box, they sign in, they get redirected to Azure AD to perform the single sign-on, and Azure AD immediately evaluates what conditional access policies they've got in place. So if there's a conditional access policy that matches this situation, they'll take whatever controls you've defined. And that's where sort of our ease of deployment and our story starts coming together. Of now you can just check a checkbox in Azure AD that says, hey, when a user meets these risky situations, I want to route their traffic to Cloud App Security so I can take further actions within Cloud App Security. Why is that so powerful? Well, the first piece is that it's one click and you've deployed this feature. You don't have to set up all these extra URL redirects or anything like that because we're part of this Azure AD Conditional Access story. You check that checkbox and you've deployed it. But now the second piece is huge too. So you can think of this as this is an extra layer of security for risky situations. Not every situation your user is going to go through is risky, and in that case, you don't want to route them through Cloud App Security. So what you do with this situation, right, is you've got maybe 5% of your traffic going to Cloud App Security via that checkbox, and the other 95% of traffic is never even going to get redirected to Cloud App Security in the first place. So you're not introducing any overhead that way, no extra redirects or clicks, and that's sort of the beauty of this feature. Now, for those 5% of users that are going through the proxy, what have we done to minimize their latency and improve their experience? Well, that's the other part of being Microsoft, is we've got Azure data centers practically anywhere in the world. There's a public map that you can take a look at. And so when I'm a user, I'm typically in Seattle, but right now I'm presenting in Orlando. Let's say I've got some policy that says, hey, Alex needs to be routed through Cloud App Security when he's coming from an unmanaged session. I go to the Cloud App Security piece, and I immediately get geolocated to Orlando, and we find the nearest Azure data center, and that's where the proxy node is spun up. So now, instead of adding some huge redirect where I have to go to some static data center somewhere else in the world, we're geolocating you to the nearest one to where you are and minimizing sort of that round-trip distance that you have to take when you're accessing these cloud resources. And of course, what I'm going to emphasize with these demos that we do today are all of the various powerful use cases. That's what I really want to focus on. The technology behind this is cool, but what it enables you to do is even cooler. So we're going to talk about things like read-only mode for partner users so that they can access files, but they can't do anything else. They can't upload, they can't share, they can't download, they can't print. So it really becomes a story of maintaining productivity, but making sure that nothing leaks to their unmanaged devices. Diving one step deeper, at the end of the presentation, I'm actually going to show you the more low-level architecture, but here, just to explain how this feature is working, you've got your user again. They're going to a cloud resource. We chose Box here just to emphasize that third-party story, that this isn't a Microsoft-only capability. They get redirected to Azure AD. We evaluate that conditional access policy. If everything seems good, they get routed right back to Box or whatever cloud resource they're using. If something's off about this session, again, unmanaged device, something like that, they go to Cloud App Security. And I'll show you the portal in Cloud App Security. I'll show you what kind of policies we can spin up. But you can think of Cloud App Security, once they get that signal from Azure AD, they evaluate the session risk and then take the appropriate action. And what I've done in the bottom is sort of outline 4 cool actions that I think are, some are forward-facing, some are things that I'll show you today, but I think they're really powerful controls that this feature enables. So I'm going to jump right into the use cases and demos from here. So the first thing I'm going to talk about, and the way I've structured this, is to show you guys 3 demos and sort of do 4 announcements throughout those 3 demos. So the first demo that I'm going to show you, or the use case I'm going to show you, is performing a code review, but not allowing file downloads because you're coming from an unmanaged device. And what you'll notice here is we're using TFS, which is an on-prem application. So one of the big announcements that we're announcing is this integration with Azure AD's app proxy, which allows you to host your on-prem resources in the cloud. And now you can apply these real-time controls to those on-prem resources. So you sort of have that extensibility. A lot of users are in the process of migrating from on-prem to the cloud, and we think of this as an easy way to sort of ease into that migration. So you start with securing your on-prem resources, and as you complete your journey to the cloud, you can continue to enforce these same kind of policies later on your cloud resources. The second announcement that we're doing is the ability to configure some basic policies in Azure AD. So again, I told you about that checkbox. I told you about that ability to route traffic to Cloud App Security. Before today, you had to also create policies within Cloud App Security, so there were 2 portals that you were working with. As we move towards a more integrated experience, we're starting to roll out basic policies that you can configure within Azure AD, so I'll showcase that as well. Okay, so here I've got this user, Kevin. He went to myapps.microsoft.com, and right here you see this TFS on-prem application. Clearly, it's the only application that Kevin's using. And so when Kevin goes to TFS on-prem, you immediately see that his sign-in after authentication got redirected to Cloud App Security. So what happened in the background, and I'll show you these policies in a minute, is that Kevin was evaluated for his Azure AD conditional access policies. It said, hey, you're coming from an unmanaged device. We need to take further actions. So now Kevin's alerted, hey, you're being watched. This is totally configurable, by the way, by the administrators within Cloud App Security. You can choose whether to show or hide the screen. We, by default, have it on, but of course, that's your choice. So after he clicks continue, he'll be spit out on the home page of TFS. It's kind of cool to look at the URL here and see these 2 products working together. I don't know if all of you can see what's up there, but basically we see a URL, the msappproxy.net, because this is an on-prem resource that's being hosted by the app proxy. And then furthermore, they're being redirected through our Cloud App Security proxy, and that's where you see that US2 CASB piece of the URL come in. That's telling you that your user's being proxied, and they're actually sitting on our servers. So the UI, UX of the application is completely preserved, but you'll be able to see what kind of actions we can limit this user from taking. So within this project folder within TFS, Kevin wants to perform a code review. So he goes to this project examplon and clicks on code. And in the source folder, we're going to see 2 different code files. Let's look at the service.java file. So Kevin goes here and he clicks download, but he's coming from an unmanaged device. So you see immediately we say, nope, not so fast. You can't download this file. We give Kevin a nice notification, as well as this tombstone file that if he opens basically says, hey, this file was blocked as it contained data that is not allowed to be downloaded. So everything has to stay within the browser session here. So Kevin can now go into the service.java file, and instead of doing that, he can go into the file and he can click edit. And as soon as that file loads, you'll be able to see that Kevin is able to start looking at the code and making whatever code changes he wants to make. He can go in here and edit whatever he wants. You can see how good of code I'm making right here. But again, he's not able to download the file onto his cloud or onto his computer. In the background, what's happening is there's this Azure AD conditional access policy. How many of you have configured a conditional access policy in Azure AD before? Raise those hands nice and high. Okay, so majority of the room has seen this page, is very familiar with it. I'll sort of walk you through anyways what the policy looks like. But here you see Kevin goes to this, the administrator created this policy that says no downloads in TFS from unmanaged devices. He's applied this to all users. He's selected the application you'll be able to see, of course, is TFS on-prem. And then the condition that he selected here is that he wants to exclude devices that are unmanaged. And now the control that he's taking is this use conditional access app control. That's literally that checkbox that I was talking about. So that's that easy deployment where you just check that checkbox, and now all of that traffic will route through Cloud App Security. What you'll notice if you've played with this functionality before is now there's a drop-down menu underneath that use conditional access app control. So this is sort of that second announcement I was talking about, which is now, instead of going to Cloud App Security, for example, in this policy, it was simple enough that all we wanted to do was block download based on unmanaged devices. So we can configure that whole policy here. We drop down this screen, and you see this monitor-only mode, as well as this block download or use custom controls. So in this case, we selected block download, but if we wanted something more complex, we wanted to perform a scan of the file and only block certain files, or do something more complicated like encrypt files on download instead of blocking them, which I'll show in a minute, then we can actually go and use these custom controls and configure those policies within Cloud App Security. All right, so with that, I'm going to switch back and jump into the next announcement / next demo. So demo number 2 is sort of our way of announcing that back in June, we went GA with this functionality for SAML 2.0 applications. As it turns out, Microsoft applications, by and large, use the OpenID Connect protocol. And so we started with these third-party app support. Again, a good emphasis of how focused we are on your entire cloud portfolio, not just Microsoft applications. And what we're announcing now is a public preview for Microsoft and Office 365 applications. And so to showcase that, I'm going to give a similar demo of the functionality that you're now enabled to do in applications like Exchange Online, SharePoint, Yammer, among several others that will be all posted in our technical documentation. All right, so now I'm a different user. My name is Sylvia. I'm part of this MCAS organization, and I navigate to my Office portal to access my SharePoint resources. You can see that the Office portal itself is not proxied. There's nothing risky here, but as soon as we go to SharePoint resource, Sylvia is going to be told a very similar message to what you just saw when Kevin accessed TFS, and that's, hey, your access to SharePoint is being monitored. Now, when Sylvia clicks Continue, she's going to be spit out on the home page of SharePoint, and you'll see that there are a couple files here. There's this employee social security number information and this Cloud App Security report. So I'll start with the social security number information. You can tell that that's a confidential file. So what we'll do, we'll pull it up actually in the Documents page so you can see what the files look like. And here we're going to go to employee social security number file, and we're going to click Download. And you can see again that Tombstone file popped up, and if we open that, it says, hey, this file was blocked because it contains data that is not allowed to be downloaded. After this, I'll jump into the admin portal, and I'll show you exactly what policy we had behind the scenes that said, hey, stop this file from being downloaded. But now if we go to this other file, this Cloud App Security report, and we click Download on that one, what you're going to see is that that one actually we did allow for the user to download. But when I open it up, I know it's very, very small text, but what it says right now is it's configuring your computer for information rights management. Now, the file that's stored in SharePoint actually isn't protected with any kind of information rights management or IRM, but because Sylvia is coming from this unknown location, that file is going to be protected on download. And when she downloads it and opens it in on her computer, there's going to be policies applied so that she and her organization are the only ones that can actually see that file. So bear with me for just a second while this file opens up. Absolutely. So this depends on everything that we're doing here. We're outsourcing to Azure Information Protection. So the rights that you do when you encrypt a file, for example, there's things that are about, hey, you can't copy and paste. You can only view this file. Now, that said, there's some differences between the web browser behavior versus like Microsoft Online or Word Online versus Word Desktop. So it's really all based on what Azure Information Protection or Microsoft Information Protection now is able to do with that file. So it looks like we're experiencing some problems with Word. I hope that the configuring with IRM was enough to convince you that what we were doing was encrypting that file on download. Afterwards, if you want to come up, I'm happy to rerun this demo and show you that functionality. All right, so now I'm going to flip back to the presentation, jump to that third mode, that third demo, and show you a read-only mode in Box for partner users. This is the one that I had alluded to previously. So this was actually announced several months back, but I figured it was new and exciting enough that it deserved some time in this presentation. So beyond just download controls, which are available out of the box for any application that we onboard with these controls, there's also a rich set of functionality that we can add via monitoring certain user actions as well as restricting them. So now what I'm going to show you is this user, Ronald, who is a partner user for my MCAS organization. He's going to use his Outlook email to access Box resources. And when he does that, what you'll see is that he'll be able to view documents, and that's all that he'll be able to do. All right. So I'm Ronald now. I navigate to the tester or the organization that I'm a partner user for as instance of Box, and I click Continue. And at this point, I'm redirected to Azure AD to perform a single sign-on authentication. Looks like I'm still logged in as Sylvia from my last demo. So give me a second to just log out here. Figured 2 different machines would be enough to mitigate all the various demo users and personas I have. All right, let's try this again. Okay, so now I'm Ronald, not Sylvia, and I go to this MCAS Test 9 organization, and you see MFA was required as part of my protocol. So now my phone's ringing. It's going to be the automated message saying, hey, please push pound. So I push pound. And what you'll see is now I'm redirected to Cloud App Security. And so again, I'm greeted with this now familiar screen for all of you that says, hey, access to Box is being monitored. So I'm going to click Continue to Box. And I'm going to try to do a various set of different actions, and we'll see what the result is at every single one. So here I am on Box. Homepage, UI, UX, completely preserved. Again, the URL is rewritten because you're sitting on our proxy servers. And again, those are 2 familiar files that you just saw from the last demo. So as you can guess, if I try to download this employee social security number file, I'm going to be blocked. But now if I try to do something else, like for example, I say, okay, I can't download it. I'm going to share it with my personal account for later. Again, same sort of experience, that action's blocked. If I say, hey, I've got these other files that I need to upload to Box for later, I go to Upload, I click on Files, I choose this Project Saturn Plan 1. Again, I'm not allowed to upload anything to Box. So now I say, okay, fine. If they didn't want to let me into Box at all, they could have blocked my access. Of course, the goal of this was productivity. So if I try to open, for example, this Cloud App Security report, you'll see that in the web view, it is opened. So Ronald is able to get to the resources that he needs to get to in order to be productive. But then if he tries to do something further, like he says, okay, now I'm here, I'm going to open this in Microsoft Word Online. Again, this is blocked. And finally, in one last desperate attempt, Ronald says, okay, I'm going to print this instead. You see, again, action block popped up, and the preview says, hey, this print is restricted. You're not allowed to print these kind of documents. So this is sort of the vision. This is what we're driving towards, is this read-only mode within these applications so that you can configure beyond just download, which is already a very rich and powerful set of functionalities, what else you want to stop your users from being able to do. And read-only mode, of course, looks different from application to application. In an app like Box or SharePoint, it's about file management. In an application like Salesforce, there could be admin controls that you don't want a user to be able to take, like editing user personas. And that's sort of what we're doing there, is templating each application and making sure that we have this featured list of applications for you guys where you can take these powerful controls. What I'm going to do now is jump to the Cloud App Security portal and show you what this actually looks like, what policies we're triggering behind the scenes in order to make all of these demos come to life for you. So this is what the homepage of Cloud App Security looks like. I could spend hours, if not days, talking about all of the rich functionality here. So for now, I'm just going to navigate to the policies page, which is where all of the policies, regardless of how you've integrated your cloud apps, this is sort of the place where you manage all of those policies out of. So we're going to start by looking at Sylvia's policies. That was the experience we saw in SharePoint, where Sylvia was not able to download files with social security numbers and was not able, and we encrypted files that were downloaded that were not previously already, didn't have some kind of AIP label on them. So here's this first policy that says block download of files with sensitive content for Sylvia. So we'll wait for this policy to load, and then I'll zoom in on sort of the subcomponents here so that we can look at what kind of filters were all here that were responsible for the experience that Sylvia saw. So what you see here is we've got this user named Sylvia, and the device tag is not compliant. So again, in that case, we were looking at unmanaged devices. And then for the applications, we looked at this demo in SharePoint Online, but I really, again, want to highlight this point of sort of first and third-party apps. There's this list here of various different applications that you can apply these policies to. So again, if you're worried about data leaking to an unmanaged device, you don't care what application it's coming from. So you're using all these suite of applications, and you want to apply uniform policies across all of them. And so that's what this lets you do, is have one central policy where you're managing a use case that you have. Now, in this particular case, we said, hey, we want to inspect the content of any file that you do, or that you download. And if it has a social security number, then we want to block it. And that's why you saw that experience. When we clicked download, that's why you saw that you were not able to download that file. And at the bottom, of course, is the actual action that we took, which is to block that user, Sylvia, from being able to download it. Now, if I jump back, I'll show you sort of a parallel policy for the experience that you saw with protecting downloads of unclassified files. So exact same filters. Again, unmanaged devices, same applications, same user, Sylvia. And the actual control that we took is we said, hey, if the file doesn't already have a classification label on it, so it's unclassified, we don't know what kind of risk it represents, then we want to encrypt it on download just to be safe, just to be sure. And so we're looking particularly at every single file that Sylvia downloads now, and if there's an unknown classification, then the control that we apply is we protect with a classification label, and that's where you get to choose via the Azure Information Protection labels what kind of controls you want to apply. Now, finally, I'll show you Ronald's policy, the one around those various activities that we just looked at, including print, upload, share, etc. So I'll just search for the name of the policy because I already know what I called it. And here you'll see that with this policy, we applied it to our external users. And here we happen to apply it to Box, Jira, and Salesforce, I believe, as the applications where we actually did this sort of management. So this policy is going to look very similar to the last two that you saw, but there's also this extra filter of activity type. And that's where I'm talking to you about, hey, we want to profile every single application in your environment and understand what read-only mode looks like. And so that's when I click on here, you'll see that there are various different kinds of activities. So if I zoom in here for a second, you'll see in Box, you can copy an item. But when you edit an item in Box, it's editing a file. In an application like Salesforce, it could be editing an account or a campaign or several other different features if I run through this list. And finally, the last thing that I want to show you for this demo is the activity log. So what you've seen so far is the user experience, but the administrator might want to know when these actual actions are taking place. So what they're able to do is, in addition to actually making these policies that enforce the actions, they're able to see what actions took place. So for example, here, this Ronald guy we saw went to Box, and when he tried to download an item, I'll zoom in again. When he tried to download this item, we see that that was blocked. When he tried to share, also blocked. Upload, same experience. We let him preview the file, so that's why you don't see that block corresponding with that preview. But for all the other actions, as you saw in the demo, we were able to block what Ronald was able to do. All right, so now I'm going to jump back to the presentation and wrap things up. And after that, I'd be happy to take questions that you guys may have. So first, I want to briefly touch on sort of the architecture. I know we've talked about this at a high level, but I want to throw it up on one slide and show you what's literally going on every time that we go to these cloud resources, every time a policy like this is configured. So I know this screen is a bit small, but I'll walk you through exactly what's going on. So we've got that user, Ronald, Sylvia, Kevin, whoever it was. They go to a cloud application, and now on-prem application that's hosted in the cloud. And that's when this single sign-on request comes in. So this is for sanctioned applications managed with your identity provider. Your identity provider then looks at what conditional access policies are in place and says, hey, am I supposed to route something to Cloud App Security? If the answer is no, they do whatever else is required, like maybe MFA was configured for a policy, and then they route that user back to the cloud application. If not, then they'll route on to Cloud App Security if that checkbox is checked, where we'll evaluate for two different things. The first is an access policy, which was outside of the scope of this presentation. So I'm happy to talk to you about what we can do with access policies as well. But for now, I'll jump along to that session policy. Basically, we say, is there a session policy that matches this request? In Sylvia's example, when she downloaded a file that had a social security number, there was, because we had a session policy that said block anything with a social in it. So that's when we now route Sylvia to that Cloud App Security server, and whenever she tries to download that file, we take whatever action she's supposed to take. So in this case, we also integrate, like I said, with Azure Information Protection, now becoming Microsoft Information Protection, to sort of enable all of this to be done by the experts that have already built this sort of functionality, this rich functionality, to inspect content, to apply these labels, to apply these different encryptions, and make sure that your ecosystem's working together. So, brief summary. What did we cover today? So better together, I know I'm harping on this point, but I think it's what makes this such an exciting feature, is that this integrates so heavily with your EMS environment and is becoming more and more heavy every day, as you saw with that app proxy announcement, for example, as well as the integration with Azure data centers, so that we're minimizing the latency that you experience whenever you reach one of our proxy servers. The announcements that you just saw, just to recap everything that we announced on one page: support for on-prem applications via the app proxy, the ability to start configuring basic MCAS session policies directly within Azure AD, support for a bunch of Office and Microsoft applications, in addition to the third-party apps that we'd already supported in GA'd back in June. And then, of course, support for these granular sort of controls that we're bringing to various applications like Box that let you take powerful actions beyond just downloading files and controlling and monitoring those. So where are we headed from here? Very high level, and I'm happy to talk after the presentation with you guys about more specific sort of visions I have for this feature. But what we want to do is go for any app in any situation. On that first sort of slide, I recapped, hey, we've got sanctioned apps, we've got unsanctioned apps, we have cloud threats. What we want to do is protect you from any situation, any application, whether it's managed with your identity provider or not, and make sure that we're giving you those sort of powerful read-only controls. Next steps for you guys. So you can always start a free trial of Cloud App Security. Again, this talk was just one subset of that functionality. Come meet us. There's a bunch of engineers, marketing folks, our customer experience team, all hanging out at the booth. So you can learn more. There's a whole bunch of other resources. I'll let you guys take a picture if you want. And of course, there's our website where you can learn more information about the product. And with that, I'm happy to stop and answer any questions that you may have. But please come to the mic.
So when you're making a policy, can you, like I noticed you had the one condition there to check for the social insurance number.
Yep.
Can you add multiples of those within one policy, or do you have to have a separate policy, say if you wanted to get credit card and social insurance in the same doc?
So currently you would have to have multiple policies, but what we're working on is integrating with DCS, which is sort of Microsoft's vision for going across, basically across all your products. We want you to use one engine for looking at various content like socials. So with those policies, I believe that you can start layering. We can dive deeper into that and take a look at what's all available. But the use case of looking for multiple things is definitely a possibility today, even with that built-in policy. You just have to have two side-by-side policies.
Can you train it to do other things like, say, for example, a Canadian
Absolutely. So the DCS engine that I talked about has, I mean, it's lists on lists on lists of every single thing. In addition to, you can also include custom matches for strings, for example. So if you want to say peanut butter, again, just to use that example as sensitive, you can just type in peanut butter, and we'll know that that's what you want to block download of or protect download of, et cetera.
Thank you.
Yeah? Yes, sir.
Can I use this MCAS to restrict Outlook users on Exchange on-premises environment? Like, for example, we have map your HTTPS enable in our environment. So can I use this MCAS to restrict it?
So the basic restrictions for this functionality is that any policy that you apply has to go through Azure AD. And once it goes through Azure AD, it has to be a browser session. So as long as you're accessing your Exchange resources through the browser, you're configured with single sign-on, and we're evaluating those Azure AD conditional access policies, then you can apply the restrictions that we talked about today. I want to make sure that we look deeper into your exact use case, exactly how your mapping works. So let's chat offline after I answer everyone else's questions to make sure that we support exactly what you're trying to do.
Okay, thank you.
I have a follow-up to that question. So are you saying that mobile apps don't apply to this?
So yes. So reverse proxies in general, anywhere in the world, you cannot apply this sort of functionality to mobile apps, but what you can do that I didn't cover in this session, and what sort of our most popular use case among customers is we can block access to mobile apps, and we can add a custom message to that block, like, hey, you can't get there from here, but you can always go to www.box.com. So users will then pivot to the browser, go to box.com, and then you can apply these rich controls that we talked about.
Okay, and I think you probably did this for demo purposes, but can we silently redirect people?
Say that again?
Can we silently redirect people instead of giving them a screen that says you're being redirected?
Absolutely. So that screen that says monitor, you're being monitored, I like to showcase it for demos. Like you pointed out, it's a checkbox in the Cloud App Security portal where you can choose to have it on or off.
Thank you.
Yep.
Two quick questions. Licensing for this aspect, is
Yes.
it E5 level or
Cloud App Security is part of the E5 suite. That's correct.
premium and Azure?
So to use that checkbox in Azure AD, you need an Azure AD P1 license. And then to use the Cloud App Security product itself, you need EMS E5 license.
EMS E5. And one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Those apps that can be monitored, sometimes users just go and click on something online and then it shows up in the application list. Is that viable, or is it a registration process?
So these controls will apply to anything that you've configured with single sign-on in your environment. So once you've enabled single sign-on for the app and it redirects to us, that's when we can take control of it.
Okay. Thank you.
I had two questions. It's kind of a follow-up to his last piece, which
Yep.
is this mainly or only works when you are using Azure Active Directory as your identity provider?
So we also have a private preview for other identity providers as well. The Azure AD experience is much more streamlined, and that's sort of what I was highlighting today with that checkbox. The configuration's slightly more nuanced, but it's definitely feasible. We have customers using the third-party identity providers as well. But overall, yes, all the functionality you saw has to be configured with an identity provider in order for us to grab a hold of it. And we can talk about other situations that we're looking at where we can start to grab hold of other sessions that are not configured with identity providers.
Yeah, that's really where I was going.
Yeah.
If somebody went directly to Box or Google.
Yep. So let me jump off the stage after all the questions end. If you have a minute to stick around, then we can talk about that.
One more question. We have EMS E3, and we're not. Does that give? Do you get any functionality?
Absolutely. So with EMS E3, the first piece I talked about in Cloud App Security, which is the discovery or shadow IT functionality, that there's that database of 16,000 apps that we have those 70 risk factors for, and you can look at what's okay, what's risky, and then unsanctioned applications and block them. All of that's available with an E3 license.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
I had a question around the licensing as well. So is the Azure IP piece of it part of the Cloud App Security, or would I need to license that separately?
I'm going to redirect you to our marketing manager who's sitting in the back. She's walking towards you right now. She'll answer all of your licensing questions.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. Hey.
Granular enough to protect a specific team site?
So this is functionality that we're investigating right now. It's sort of at the top of my mind as it's definitely feasible to do so. Because we're a reverse proxy, we have information about, for example, the URL that the user is going to. So if we can template if you can say anything in the URL that contains word XYZ or something like that, this is functionality that we're investigating adding as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Cool. Well, I appreciate you all sticking around. If anyone else has further questions that you want to chat with offline, just come up to me while I unpack.